Hi, we are the Wamboyes. My name is Ernest.
I'm Waturi.
And we've been married for 10 years now.
Yes.
As of this date. And we've got 2 children. Their names are...
Tandiwe and Ivana.
Yes, and we've got one on the way as well. So, yeah, 3 kids, right?
Yeah.
And we are ministers of the gospel. We run a ministry called the Relationship Centre that aims to promote biblical family values in contemporary urban societies in Africa and beyond. We love Meaning of Marriage by Timothy Keller, 5 Love Languages by Dr. Gary Chapman. We love all those books and they've had a tremendous impact on who we are. But we noticed that in ministering to our in our African context, there are some things that need to be sorted out first. You realize that there's a group of people who even struggle to pick up a book from foreigners, not because the content is wrong, but because there are some inadequacies and injustices that have not been solved. For example, how the gospel came into this country. There are many parts that received the unadulterated gospel of Jesus Christ and in a wonderful way, but there are places where the gospel was received in a very manipulative way. And because of that, you find that they need someone from home to tell the story of Christ, having understood the context. We wrote Baesics because we made many foolish relationship mistakes. And we wanted to save our children the same mistakes. And before we had children, we had friends, and we had peers, and we had people younger than us. And so we wrote it out of personal loss and out of also inspiration, having believed the gospel. Anything else you want to add to that?
Yeah, I think a conviction that God's principles still stand today. I think we really wanted to inspire and encourage people, particularly young people, that God's principles are still practical. They're still direction that people can take today, and God is not dead, literally. So we just wanted them to have these principles as they planned for a very important institution like marriage, which many young people had given up on.
Baesics is going to be a powerful book for Kenyans and for Africans because, one, it's written by Africans, it's written by Kenyans who understand the Kenyan context, who understand love from a Kenyan context, who also understand the gospel as it arrived in Kenya, differently from how it arrived in many other places. When the gospel left the Middle East and it went out into Europe and out into the known world, it was kind of received, I would say it was arguably received in a very healthy way. It was presented in a healthy way, founded in a very healthy way. But when it came here, it was meddled with a lot of colonialism. And because of that, there are many people who are apathetic to the gospel, or there are many people who are very religious, having a form of Christianity, but not understanding the core message of Christianity, that is the gospel. And so we feel we are uniquely able to just present this message because we live in this African context. Anything you'd like to add to that?
Nope.
Some of the issues that Africans face as far as marriage are concerned are very unique. For example, the whole idea of dowry and bride price, the whole idea of tribalism. I don't know if you want to talk a bit about just tribal differences.
Yeah, so you may find in other contexts, they may not help you know how to deal with the issue of tribalism, which can actually either halt a marriage altogether, bring about division, disunity, or actually bring about great altercations. And Africa being a society that is collective, you find that marriage being a very good thing and greatly honored in the African context because it's a coming together of families. And so when you bring issues of tribalism, these are not just parents getting to meet someone from a different tribe. It's 2 distinct tribes coming together. So many times it's not as simple as it looks. And so it brings about nuances, conflict, and it's challenging to navigate those waters.
And also just to add to that, the gospel offers unique permanent solutions that have not been found in Africa for thousands and thousands of years. Some kind of healing that has not been found for thousands and thousands of years. That you can actually forgive and not hold that grudge against this person because, not simply because you do so, but simply because you've received this grace from your God. That your God has actually shed his blood for you. That is something very powerful. And Africans know all about the shedding of blood. The death of Jesus Christ is powerful to speak into this context. We are Africans, we can do it for these guys.
Basic has a unique twist in the sense that, one, it does speak to a young audience, but it also at the same time is founded on God's principles that are timeless, that transcend time and age. How this will work to the other, I think, international communities coming from Africa, is because we tried as much as possible to make sure that we landed the gospel clearly. We have heard that in the known world there's a rise of atheism, people don't go to church anymore, yet the very gospel and Christianity came from the known world. So this book really drums the message that the gospel is still alive, and we are propagating for that. And I think any international reader who picks up this book and sees, wow, are young people in Africa still believing in this God? We really want them to be inspired to know, oh, so he's still alive. Like, God's not dead, because abroad, God's dead. He doesn't exist anymore. So we really just want to take the gospel from Africa to the rest of the world, letting them know he's alive and he still has a great plan for every person who picks up that copy.
And also, to add to that, is that the fact that African tradition is passed down orally, and so you don't find historical records of our culture. And because of that, because of the colonialism, we forgot. There's a huge forgetting of our culture. You mean our parents tell us things that our grandparents knew, and we get shocked, and we ask them, how will I know that? And they say, we were told, but is it written anywhere? No. And so an oral tradition culture is enriched by having a culture that now has been written down, traditions, truth that has been written down. And years from now, it will not be said that the truths of Africa were just merely passed down orally. They were written. They were found in a book published by Oasis Publishers.